Today is a magnificent day. We are in Emilia-Romagna on beautiful roads, and most importantly, we are in a technical Lamborghini Huracan. Presence, as well as the V10.
This VX presents itself from miles away, and it's a multifaceted tune.
It is an engine that is worth the price of the ticket for this car, because first and foremost, one of the few naturally aspirated engines left on a supercar. How many do we count?
Very few. Then this is the only VX, of course. Then there is the V27 from Ferrari and the V27 also from Lamborghini with the Ventanella.
I have to throw in the Porsche GT Tri, which is another supercar with a naturally aspirated engine, but they really can be counted on the fingers of one hand, and this V10 in particular is really unique because, Mamma mia, it has an incredible tune you can't hear on video, the amount of noise it makes, but it's impressive.
That's the thing. First we recorded it with the phone. You can hear the nuances, the kind of sound, a fox, but no, it's a cat. You can hear the nuances, the kind of sound, but not the amount, and the amount is exaggerated in a good way, of course.
Absolutely yes. By the way, the exhaust so open is part of the technical Huracan, along with many small improvements that probably make it the best Huracan on the road in our opinion.
Here we see a little bit of more.
Yes.
The tech is almost part of the range under the STO in the same engine with the same power, 640 horsepower and 565 Newton meters, and both are rear-wheel drive. And after why we will tell you they are our favorites, but this one, as opposed to the STO, let's say, has a little more street feel. The other one is made for track days.
Exactly. Let's say it can be the right compromise because it has more sophisticated aerodynamics than the standard Huracan, which is the Evo, only has rear-wheel drive. The engine, as you said, from SI 140 horsepower, and then a pretty sharp setup, but not as tremendous as that of the STO, which is really dedicated to the track.
Yes, the STO then has so much more downforce. So it is really racing like setting.
But this one, however, has 30 and 5% more downforce thanks to the rear extractor and the wing and splitter in front than the Huracan Evo, but also better aerodynamic penetration in slits. Engine, we said 10-cylinder naturally aspirated or 640 horsepower at 8,000 revolutions.
Wow. Reaches 8,500. Let us feel the stretch. It also takes very little time to reach 8,500 RPM.
This concert, yes, and especially we love the fact that this car, the rear wheel drive, because compared to the all-wheel attraction version, it is more sincere because more predictable, you know, they all will steer probably.
However,
put down.
You know, when it does, you don't expect anything different.
It is more balanced, it is more pure, it is more fun, ladies and gentlemen, more different. L inertia is really a Gellissima credit then to a beautifully calibrated steering. In my opinion, one of the best steering I've tried on a supercar, but then I would tell me you when you try it. And the thing that I like the most is the progression of the aspirated engine, because compared to the turbo, it is true that it has less back, but the length, the precision you have in adjusting it in the corners is another thing then I would say of exceptionally lovely.
When you drive a naturally aspirated engine, you touch the throttle and the engine responds. It doesn't matter if the new turbos have almost eliminated the turbo lag. They don't have the mighty thrust right from 2,000 RPM.
Mamma mia, the bangs it makes.
From the exhaust, let's hear it.
Let's hear some of the noise of this.
Mamma mia, I think that this car is a dispenser of happiness, even to those who look at you. In my opinion, people feel they envy themselves. but they are so happy to see such a spectacular vehicle, and that puts such a beautiful, exciting sound that at the end they smile. They all smile at you
And life smiles at you, but now I would say it's your turn to
Look, 0-100 in 3 seconds and 2, not like that. 0-200 in 9 seconds and 2, 325 pulls 3 roosters in top speed. That we don't care because we are not in Germany and we don't have a car from the layout. But these are numbers to show you how fast this Lamborghini Huracan Tecnica goes. Which is very agile. The credit is, in addition to the lightness, also this immerser you mentioned, which is really precise, super direct, that is calibrated by God. It doesn't have the slightest empty spot. It is light, because you always feel it light and very sensitive. We unfortunately have winter tires. That does affect the grip a little bit, but you can feel that the car is light.
With the steering, you put it where you want, thanks also to the steerable rear axle that is standard on the tech, that rotates up to 3 degrees. So it allows you to put it in better, especially in the slow mix. And it gives a great feeling of agility in maneuvering in the city that feels it a little more agile. The beauty of the Huracan is that you feel it very compact, despite having this windshield moved very far away from a feeling really of being in an airframe. However, the car is light and compact. This steering makes the front end very precise.
This engine gives supation not only for the Svinta and the rapid immediate response, but for the sound instead.
Instead, the double clutch gearbox is very quick and punctual, impeccable but sweet, very different from the robotized we find on the Ventador. That was too violent, much better this.
It slaved over the kicks in the back. It was slower, it was really abrupt, very scenic. If you brought someone as a passerby, it would stay played. In shifting, it would take a header on the headrest, but I prefer this super effective double parsley.
Anyway, the best thing about the tech really is the relationship between the Seto engine and the rear wheel drive. Of all of its for racing in circulation, the Lamborghini really has a lot of special effects. Then it must be said that the Huracan is a project that has been there for a few years now. However, Lamborghini has brought it forward, improved, and it doesn't look like a car that has its years on its shoulders indeed. Then with all these punctures and all the carbon of the Technique, because even the doors are carbon fiber, are very light. It really makes its figure. I like this, my
carbon fiber and Alcantara all over the dashboard, on the steering wheel, and I really like that the screen is placed in this center tunnel, practically obligation. Should the noise be too much in street mode and with the automatic transmission, the Huracan puts you in 7th gear, so the last gear already at 45-50 kilometers per hour. Silent thrust, there's still plenty of torque because this V-Deci 5 and 2 has torquey, guys. It's got a lot of it.
Yes, it's torque at 6,000 and over RPM. However elastic and mellow. The good thing about the V-Deci is that it has almost the same torque, the power of a 12-cylinder. However, it's more compact, so you can put it in small cars like this and it weighs less. And you can feel that it has a lot of torque, because however it's true that in the highs it gives its best, but also in the lows there's back and mellow smooth. In fact, the thrust is spread out.
Even in automatic and street mode, you will never go unnoticed, because although the Huracan shuts up, it remains terribly conspicuous, and I find this a great asset. That said, I prefer to hear the sound of it.
Yes, competition. Then the Huracan within the range, we said it is the right middle ground between the more extreme set or that more track oriented, even more extreme as a trim, even more downforce.
Also a significantly higher price.
Because the Seto cost 310,000 euros, while this one costs 235,000 euros, a little more than the all-wheel drive Huracan Evo,
According
which costs
to
229. While if you want the smooth rear-wheel drive Huracan Evo, 190,000 euros. However, I would spend that extra 30,000 euros for this.
To me, this is the right one to buy. At least you don't have a private track and you use it practically always in sight. Subtitles.